Consider a particular question from the Quinnipiac University poll. The Quinnipiac University poll is often used as a barometer of public opinion regarding matters of public concern. Here's the question. Would you support or oppose raising the national minimum wage? For those who responded to the question, the results of the poll are presented in the table below. Based on the data, can we conclude that the support for raising the national minimum wage is dependent on political affiliation, or is political affiliation independent of support for raising the minimum wage? So here's the data in a contingency table. And we want to put this to a test, it sounds like. We can do a chi-square test of independence. And let's see. We don't have a significance level given, so I'm going to declare our significance level equal to 0.10, or a 10% significance level. So the hypothesis statements for this particular hypothesis test would look like this. We're going to state the two variables, that is raising minimum wage and political affiliation. We're going to declare that they're independent. The alternative hypothesis is the raising the minimum wage and political affiliation are dependent. So these are the standard way of writing the hypothesis statements for a chi-square test of independence. Go back and take a look. So we can see here we have the three standard political affiliations: Republican, Democrat, and Independent. And of course, in the columns of this table, we have whether or not this person responded yes or no to the question about raising minimum wage. So what I'd like to do now is take this data to our software package, Rguroo, and let's put it to a test. Oh, I will note that when we do end up in Rguroo, what we're going to enter into Rguroo are just these 6 cells here in the table. The totals are not included when you communicate a contingency table to software. So here we are in our software package, and we will click on the data panel and data import and choose create new table. This is important. If we are creating a table, in other words, we were given summarized data, not raw data, then you have to choose create table, not create data sets. Now, just going to get this format of my table set up. Our table had 3 rows. So right now I can see there's only 1. So with this particular icon here, you can add a row. So that's reflective of what we have. And we had 2 columns, one for yes, one for no. And the icon right next to it says add a column. So now I have space for those 6 numbers that I highlighted before. I'd like to give a title right now. Republican, Democrat, just putting some abbreviations. Independent. Great. Now, if I want to put the titles in for the columns here, then I need to click there. And then I actually change the name up here in this box to yes. And then if I click here, I can change it from variable 3, a very generic name, to no. So this also helps me make sure I put all my numbers in the right spot. 208. Click in here. There we are. 208. Now I'm just hitting the tab key here, and it's allowing me to kind of navigate quickly. 193. 387. 30. 476. 193. I think that's going to take us longer than the rest of the process there, but it's important that we get the table in there. And I'm going to save it as, let's say, minimum wage and politics, let's say, something like that. You can save it as anything you'd like. So save it here. Oops. Oh, that's good that I made that mistake. But it will not let me save this until I give labels. So I was so excited to save it, I forgot to give labels. So our rows were political affiliation, and the name of our columns was minimum wage. So the yes, no was a response to this idea. And then here I always put number, because basically that's just saying that these values in each of the cell represent the number of people that fall into each of these classifications. It should let me save it now. Excellent. So to perform a chi-square test of independence, you're going to go to Analytics, click on Analysis. You're going to go down to Contingency Table. Excellent. I'm going to use the drop-down menu and choose the data set I just saved, which was minimum wage and politics. Choose factor 1 will be my political affiliation. Factor 2 will be minimum wage. And then here, it wants to know what we've named the cells, which I called number. So each of these were available in the drop-down because they were columns, or they were clarified or declared in our data table. Do a chi-square test here. And I don't think there's anything else we need to do. If we want to adjust the significance level, we can. Here we are. And let's click Preview. Great. So one of the nice things about this is it gives you the table back. So you can double check your data entry. I will say it looks like it puts it in alphabetical order. So Democrats, Independents, then Republicans, no, followed by yes. But otherwise, you can check that it understood the numbers. Let's see. So right here is our chi-square test of independence. And I see right now, oh my goodness, a really enormously large observed test statistic. This is our chi-square test. And so, yeah, that's really large in the scheme of a chi-square test. And you can see that is coupled with a really small p-value, actually a p-value smaller than the number of digits that Rguroo cares to display. And, you know, we'll have to mention that we have a graph of this. And also, if you ever need the expected counts for any reasons in an assignment or just to have them, they're there at the bottom of the output. So let's come back in here and let's record what we found. Our chi-square test was 170, so really, really enormously large. Our probability value, p-value for short, was essentially, I'm just going to, 0. I think it was out to 5 zeros there in Rguroo. Our significance level is 10. And now we're going to make a decision, and we're going to see that our probability value is much, much smaller than our significance level, which will tell us we will reject the null hypothesis. So, you know, have a little fun up here, and we're rejecting it, so it goes away, which means our data is super supportive of what's left, which is the alternative. And as you can see, the alternative is stating that the raising of minimum wage and political affiliation are dependent. And I could write that into a summary statement, just saying that the sample evidence suggests this. And that is a chi-square test of independence using Rguroo.